Eminem is Eminem. If you notice in hip hop, Eminem is the only rapper that nobody ever wants a problem with, including myself, man. Eminem is like the most lyrically insane. Even when I was going at 50 and me and Dre wasn't seeing eye to eye, man, I stayed away from the white dude, because he a problem. You know what I'm saying? I understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like Eminem, I don't think it's a rapper he won't slay. And you don't even want a war with Eminem. He crazy.
He was talking about how he was going to pick fights. If he were to come at you with like a industry beef, what would you have done?
Run. Yeah, Eminem is. You don't understand. I'm a hip hop artist, and I'm one of the biggest ones in the world. You don't want a beef with Eminem. He shreds. He shreds MCs, like, for real. And I ain't his best friend or nothing. I'm just saying, I understand that he can't be seen by nobody. Jay know, everybody know. You don't mess with the white boy.
I used to think Eminem was better than me.
So what you saying right now?
He's not. Hey, challenge it.
Game, you don't want to go versus against
Yes,
Eminem.
I do. What do you mean? Yeah, I do. The fuck you mean? So what you trying to say? Hey, let's just say what you're trying to say. You trying to say that I don't want to head up fade with the white man?
When it comes to the rap world, few things get artists more involved in their craft than that of a feud. At first, that might sound odd, but for rappers, it can be the boost they need to not just push out their best work, but get noticed for doing it. And throughout the history of rap, there have been plenty of feuds that have come and gone. It's the nature of things like this. But for one, the feud between rappers 50 Cent and The Game, what was once thought to be over, is now apparently heating up again. We'll break it down for you, but before we do that, go ahead and do us a favor by leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Reignited, and it feels so good. On Friday, 50 Cent responded to a now viral clip in which the Compton rapper was seemingly snubbed by Jimmy Levine. The video, which was captured at a Los Angeles Lakers game, shows the Interscope co-founder walk past The Game without even acknowledging him. LOL, the man didn't even look at him, 50 Cent wrote on Instagram. Get this guy out of here. 50 wrote the records, LMFAO. The Game, who was once signed to 50's G-Unit imprint, didn't hesitate to fire back. He insisted he didn't notice Levine, and then pushed back in 50 Cent's claims that he had written his music. I ain't even see Mr. Burns, he wrote, referencing Levine. If you wrote my records, write you one today and put it out. Your rap career died with them lollipop strapped tank tops. You a actor, and that's why you ran to TV. Leave this rap who can spell correctly and actually got bars. Goofy. But the Born to Rap MC didn't stop there. Shortly after responding to 50 Cent, The Game returned to Instagram to throw more jabs at 50, bringing up the rapper's weight, his alleged fear of doing a versus, and his girlfriend, Cuban Link. Hit Swiss Beats and Timbaland ASAP and stop running from this versus. Game continued. Oh, and tell your girl stay out my DMs. If she don't want her man overweight, fat as hanging upside down like a rotisserie chicken at the Super Bowl, come to @TheNuminati. The Game also shared a screenshot he purportedly received from Cuban, who had offered to be in one of his videos. 50 has yet to respond, however, Royce da 5'9" weighed in on the Game's perceived snub by posting a clip from a Levine interview, where he questions why more white and black men don't work together. The music biz in 2 slides, he wrote in the caption. Regardless of that, this has all the markings of a feud getting reignited, and not unlike many rap feuds, it all has to do with what a person did or didn't do, as well as whether respect was given to someone. But for some of you out there, you might not know the history that these two have with one another. So let's help you with that. The history of the feud. Let's start at the beginning and work our way to here. As noted before, Game was placed in G-Unit by Dr. Dre as a way to boost his presence ahead of the release of his debut album, The Documentary, which had 3 singles featuring 50 Cent on it. The release date of 50 Cent's second album, The Massacre, was pushed back in order to accommodate the Game's debut album. The move caused a rift between 50 Cent and Dre and Jimmy Levine of Interscope Records, and tension between 50 Cent and The Game began. Tensions had obviously risen by the time The Game started shooting the video for his third single, Hate It or Love It, featuring 50 Cent. Apparently, 50 Cent refused to sit in the front seat of the car next to The Game, instead taking a back seat. Later in 2005, 50 Cent dismissed The Game from G-Unit Live during a radio interview on US station Hot 97, saying he's gone. 50 said that The Game should stop saying G-Unit. He thinks he's doing me a favor when he says that. After hearing 50's comments, The Game returned to the radio station, where he was also a guest earlier that day, and attempted to enter the building. In the scuffle, one of the men accompanying The Game was shot in the leg by a security guard. 50 and the rest of G-Unit left out the back door. Both sides made a formal announcement on March 2005 that noted that they would be laying their beef to rest. 50 and I are proving that real situations and real problems can be solved with real talk, Game said in the statement. We now know that this friendship was not going to last. The peace treaty didn't last that long at all. In fact, it wasn't long until G-Unit criticized The Game's street cred and sent him packing once more. more, announcing he will not be featured on any of their albums. The feud continues. After being dismissed from G-Unit once again, the Game boycotted the group in what became known as G-Unot. He put out a diss track called 300 Bars and Runnin', and 50 Cent responded by showing Game as a Mr. Potato Head doll in the video of his piggy bank. The songs kicked off diss track after diss track. In September 2006, Game must have been feeling bad about his attacks on 50 Cent, as when he paid Angie Martinez a visit, he said on the air that he wanted to talk and just see where our heads are and see if maybe we can come to an even playing field, respectfully to each other, appealing to 50 to work together to figure it out as grown-ups. It was all quiet on 50's end. Jimmy always says, "Man, I told you guys not to break up the Beatles," Game said in an interview with MTV. He says he told John Lennon the same thing a long time ago. "But I was young, man, I was dumb. I did a lot of dumb things. Now 4 albums in, I can honestly say from Banks to Buck to Dre to Yayo to whoever, if it would have kept going, endless paper, millions of albums sold, because we were great together. Me and 50's chemistry was like how Method Man was to Redman when they get in." A few days later, in January 2009, Tony Yayo spoke on behalf of G-Unit when he said that they would not be accepting an apology from the Game. One day the Game is sorry, and the next day it's G-Unit. A week later, it was reported that the Game dissed G-Unit again at his concert in Sydney, Australia. In November of that year, 50 included the track So Disrespectful on his Before I Self-Destruct album. He was less than subtle on who it was about, with lyrics including, "Come on Game, you will never be my equal. I'm what you're never gonna be. I'm that tax bracket you're never gonna see." 50 Cent and the Game have put so much focus on their hate for each other over the years that, including radio freestyles and songs that appeared on albums and mixtapes, there are over 100 diss records aimed at each other. That's a lot, and goes back to what we were saying before in terms of rappers using feuds to go and push their own songs and styles into their best possible limits. And it goes. When 50 released a collaboration with Eminem and Adam Levine in 2012, he rapped, "Game and Buck can both suck," but it soon came out that the song was actually recorded 2 years prior, and 50 claimed he had no ill wills towards Game. Nevertheless, Game responded with another diss track. Strangely, Game instigated a petition on January 13th for G-Unit to have a reunion. He got loads of fans to sign it, but it was all for nothing. Every time there was nothing going on, Game said, "You, 50, to generate some sort of new interest," 50 explained during an interview with Power 106. But now that doesn't work anymore, so you gotta figure out a new way to do it. And now it's saying, "We'll get G-Unit back together." Game released the mixtape OKE, Operation Kill Everything, in October 2013. In the song Hollywood, Game spat the line, "Reunite with G-Unit, 50. Eventually, and after cooler heads finally prevailed, the two were able to work something out to the extent that even the Game noted that his beef was done and that their feud was over a decade old and that they should move on. And maybe they should instead of opening old wounds. But given how things are heating up again, we won't know if this peace lasts any longer or whether it's back to the diss tracks for both of them, feuding with Slim Shady. Another big thing that might be hurting the Game is that he's not just going after 50 Cent again. He's also been talking smack about one of 50 Cent's best friends, Eminem. On the Drink Champs podcast, Game talked about how he wasn't a fan of Eminem busting out of the courthouse building during his Super Bowl performance alongside Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent. He then added that he feels he's a better rapper than Eminem, even though he used to think otherwise. "I like Eminem. He's one of the good MCs, great MCs," Game said. "I used to think Eminem was better than me," he admitted. Game was then asked how he feels now, to which he replied, He's not challenging." NORE then told Game he doesn't want to go verses against Eminem, but Game disagreed. "Yeah, I do," he confidently stated. Naturally, a lot of people had something to say about that, but the Game held his ground. "When y'all say Eminem is better and all that, I see it, I feel you," he said. "And you know what? If you feel like Eminem is better than me, that's your opinion. But it's a lot of people that feel like I'm better than Eminem, and that's the opinion. Me personally, is Eminem better than me? Nah, he not, bro." He went on to explain that if anyone has doubts about his own talent, him and Em could hop in the studio and figure it out on wax. "I think the best way to see if he is or if I am is, let's rap about it," he continued. "Let's do something, let's put something out, let's see, cause that's what it is, bro. It's rap. Picking your fights." Is this wise for the Game and 50 Cent to go back at it? Wisdom has never been a factor in rap feud, and that in turn has led to many artists getting embarrassed because of how they handled things and failed to hold their own. Now, we would be more than happy to guess that things aren't going to continue escalating like they did between these two oh so long ago. But then again, it is the rap world and anything is possible within it. And there you go, everyone, a look at the feud of 50 Cent and the Game and where it is now, as well as how it all started. Do you think that these two will indeed keep their feud going because of their dislike for one another? Or do you think that this is more about them getting attention for one reason or another? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.